Good evening, friends. Welcome back to the Science Medium show here on the Creepy Puppets Presents channel. I am your creepy puppeteer, Tommy. I want to talk to you today a little bit about Alice Bailey. If you're unfamiliar, Alice Bailey was a member of the Theosophical Society and was the de facto successor to Madame Blavatsky after she passed away. Alice Bailey was interested in taking the Theosophical Society in a more Christian direction after the Buddhist direction it had gone in under Blavatsky and Alcott. Alice Bailey was also a progressive writer and a prolific writer at the time. Now, that's not to say she was perfect. She had some very questionable views about race, but overall, Alice Bailey is an important figure in the history of spiritualism, theosophy, the esoteric movement, the New Age movement, etc. Why am I bringing this up? Well, there's a popular meme in the crazy right-wing conspiracy world that Alice Bailey put forward a 10-point plan to destroy either Christianity or the West or whatever it is that the conspiracy theory thinks was so awesome that it could only be brought down by an agenda and not failing due to its own merits.
The founder of the quote organization Lucis Trust developed 10 strategies to establish a new world order.
So these clips are taken from a video by YouTuber Joshua Wiley, as it's relatively brief. Most conspiracy theory videos on this topic are like 2 hours long, and yet they never manage to say anything of substance to justify that runtime. So, here's the most important way to debunk the so-called 10 points before we even read them out. There's no evidence that Alice Bailey ever said any of this at all. Nobody can ever provide a source for these statements. One person did provide a source, a book that Alice Bailey wrote on education in the New Age, and I've read through this book, and I can't find it in there. So it seems like these are just a list of grievances that right-wing conspiracy theorists made up. So now as we go through them, let's keep in the back of our minds that this is probably entirely fabricated by a bunch of loony religious zealots.
Number 1, push God out of the schools. If the people grow up without reference to God, then they will consider God irrelevant to day-to-day life. In the last 50 years, this has happened. God is irrelevant to most people.
So, obviously, secularism in education is a bad thing to these people. But look, Theosophists believe in God. Alice Bailey believed in God, and she believed in Jesus. She just thought he was a saint, not some three-headed God person. But this is obviously just an objection to secular education, which, of course, I think most people today are in favor of secular education. It's not some plot to bring down your religion. It's just consistent with a society that has religious freedom.
Number 2, break the traditional Judeo-Christian family concept. Break communication between parents and children so that parents can't pass on spiritual values to their children. Do this by pushing excessive child rights.
Oh no, people under 18 deserves to have some rights in our society? Heavens to Betsy, no!
Number 3, remove restrictions on sex. Sex is the biggest joy, and Christianity robs people of this. People must be freed to enjoy it without restrictions. It's not just for married, it's for everybody. Number 4, since sex is the greatest expression of man's enjoyment of life, man must be free to express sex in all its forms. Homosexuality, orgies, even bestiality are desirable so long as no one is being abused or harmed.
The Theosophical Society maintains a long tradition, owing again from its Buddhist roots, of celebrating celibacy. I suspect that the position that many Theosophists, including Blavatsky herself, would have taken is that celibacy is actually preferable to a life of hedonistic sexual pleasures. So you can just sort of see how this is right-wing conspiracy theorists making stuff up they don't like about society and projecting it onto Alice Bailey.
Number 5. People must be free to abort unwanted children. If a man can have sex and then live without the consequences, then the same should be true for a woman too. A woman must have the right to abort an unwanted child.
So the Theosophical movement has been split on the issue of abortion. On the one hand, from a spiritual perspective, according to Madame Blavatsky herself, she regarded abortion to be a grave sin, while others, such as modern Lucis Trust, I'll link articles to both of these below, say it's a complicated issue, but that it doesn't actually harm the fetus spiritually. It may harm the mother spiritually, but there are complicated legal reasons as to why, from a policy perspective, a Theosophist may say that abortion is justified. But to ignore that complexity, and, the founder of the movement saying that she condemns abortion, is just proof that this is more, we don't like abortion, so we'll find somebody we don't like and say they were for abortion.
Number 6. Every person develops soul bonds. So when a soul bond wears out, a person must be free to divorce. When one starts to grow, one must be free to get together with that person, even if they are married.
Yeah, this one I think Alice Bailey might have actually believed, even if she didn't say it in these words. So we're 1 for 6.
Number 7. Diffuse religious radicalism. Christianity says Jesus is the only way. Diffuse this by A. silencing Christianity, and B. promoting other faiths, the creation of interfaith harmony.
So it's important to note that the Theosophical movement embraces a concept called perennialism. This is the idea that there is one true objective religion, spirituality, and that all religions, because we live in a common world, all religions have access to this spirituality and have basically the same core correct idea, but then have, corrupted it. So from a theosophical perspective, Christianity is wrong, as is every other religion, but it contains a core of truth, as do all other religions. So Theosophy would reject the Christian belief that Christianity is completely true and all other religions are lies from the devil. Theosophists have a saying that there is no religion higher than truth, and Blavatsky referred to this truth as the great religion of wisdom. So it's not a rabid ecumenism to undermine Christianity, right? It's a rejection of the Christianity's claim to exclusive truth. But it's not a rejection of all aspects of Christianity. If anything, it's close enough to Unitarian Christianity, with Jesus as a saint, along with the Adi Buddha and all these other great saints.
Number 8. Use the media to influence mass opinion. Create mass opinion that is receptive to these values by using TV, film, the press, etc. Note well, what Western believers call normal in the African church would be pornography. Number 9. Debase art in all its forms. Corrupt music, painting, poetry, and every expression of the heart, and make it obscene, immoral, and occultic. Debase the arts in every way possible. And number 10, get the church to endorse every one of these 9 strategies. Get the church to accept these principles and to say they're okay. Then legal ground is given for these values to get a foothold.
So these last 3 seem to me like the most obvious instance of the fact that it's all made up, right? These are just things conservatives don't like. oh no, there's corruption in the media and corruption in art, and slightly more liberal church than there used to be. Oh no, it's so bad that the only reason we can explain it is not changing social norms or economic changes. No, 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 no. It's got to be a conspiracy by people at the UN to undermine our religion. So, can you see why there's no source for any of this? Because it's all just projected nonsense. Alright, this has been Creepy Puppets Presents with the Science Medium Show. Wishing you a very happy week, and we will see you later.